People are expected to gather for another round of No Kings protests across the U.S. tomorrow. Organizers say they want to send a clear message that America will not be ruled by fear or force. Republicans are slamming the No Kings movement, calling it a Hate America rally. There are 5 scheduled protests in southern Nevada, including Henderson, Pahrump, Mesquite, and 2 in Las Vegas. That includes a morning protest at the federal courthouse in downtown Las Vegas and another one in the afternoon in front of New York on the Strip. News 3's Will Silverstein is live at the courthouse with more on the law enforcement presence. And Will, you were at the No Kings protest back in June, so is Metro going to do anything differently this time around?
Well, Steve, Metro is playing things very close to the vest when we spoke with them earlier today. But one thing that they did confirm, which is very similar to what we saw back in June when we were having those conversations back then, is that there will be multiple agencies assisting in their operations over the weekend. So it will not just be Las Vegas Metropolitan Police officers lining up to make sure things don't get too unruly.
Part of the planning is to have additional officers within the tourist corridor.
The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is planning for a surplus of protesters descending on the Las Vegas Strip and downtown's federal courthouse for the No Kings protest. The protest is driven by concern and displeasure with the Trump administration and a federal government that is currently shut down in the midst of a budget battle. The June protests in Las Vegas lured thousands to the streets in preparation for another large crowd this weekend. Metro has backup.
The law enforcement agencies that will be out there assisting us, we have North Las Vegas, we have Henderson, we have Nevada State Police, and so we have various agencies that are going to come support.
Will it be peaceful? We all should hope so.
UNLV history professor Michael Green says the location of the afternoon's protest has purpose as it relates to the president. It's at New York, New York.
He's a New Yorker, so that may be part of the explanation. It also may mean something that, what do they have outside the New York? A replica of the Statue of Liberty.
Green points out the statue reads at its pedestal, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free," suggesting protesters take the inscription to heart in the wake of immigration and customs enforcement raids across the country.
Even though ICE says they're arresting the worst of the worst, we've seen them arrest and assault U.S. citizens across the country. We've seen them arrest, detain people who do have legal status.
Lauren Martin is the executive director of Plan Action. She believes people have to protest in the face of the Trump White House. Republican political consultant Matt Klink says the protest is a bad look for Democrats nationwide and says Republicans may gain a lot of support if peaceful protesters turn to rowdy rioters. But what if the protests remain peaceful as intended?
If they are peaceful, I think that it opens up a possibility that at least the left can start to engage in a dialogue about America's future. But right now, they're so focused on their hatred for Donald Trump that they're blind to everything else.
Regardless of the atmosphere on Las Vegas Boulevard Saturday, Las Vegas Metro says they're prepared.
We're ready. We're ready to do this. Again, no strangers to large events and managing large events. So we're certainly ready. We feel ready for what's coming, and so yeah, all the resources are in place.
And can you imagine if you have those thousands of protesters that we saw out here before on the streets where that parade is happening right now without the adequate law enforcement presence? That's why they're bringing in the backups to New York, to this part earlier in the day, which will be between 11 and 1, 4:30 to 6 is what it says on the No Kings website for the New York. Now, Metro is referring us to their website where you can learn more about protest safety tips. We actually have that link on our website as well. And some of the things that they're preaching in particular are paying attention to not going in the middle of the street if their permit doesn't align with it. So don't just start wandering into the street, especially on a busy boulevard like Las Vegas Boulevard, no matter where you are, but especially where the protest is happening too. They also said you want to make sure that you are able to hear what the police are saying if they start to declare protests unlawful. And when does that start happening? That's when they start hearing threats that are being made. That's when they start seeing things that they don't like, and also when it goes past that allotted protest period. Those are things that you should should keep in mind if you're here on the ground. And if it's anything like when I was here on the ground last time, you were very much able, assuming that you didn't have any sort of drink that made you unable to hear something, that what their intentions were. They were blasting things on megaphones in the middle of the street, trying to put that message out as loud and clear as possible, especially when it came to stacking in the streets and not allowing cars to pass through, which is of course critical on a Las Vegas Strip on a Saturday evening.
Yeah, Will, you can say that again. And, you know, Metro is, of course, one of the best police departments anywhere in the country when it comes to managing big crowds like we see on New Year's Eve and these demonstrations. So thank you for that report, and we'll follow up and see how everything unfolds, Will. The safety protocols, by the way, that Will mentioned include a list of items that you cannot bring to protests or demonstrations. They include guns, glass bottles, sharp objects, or anything with flammable liquids. We have a poll on our website asking you to grade President Trump during his first 9 months in office. So far, a little more than half give him an F. If you'd like to weigh in, scan the QR code on your screen, or you can go to news3lv.com. 4 people are facing charges